from the Indian Ocean to the Western Pacific. Some of the world's busiest waters have become deadly. Pirates have hijacked ships, taken crews hostage, and walked away with millions in ransom. It's worked before, but now the Chinese Navy and their Jiaolong commandos aren't playing games, and the pirates are feeling their wrath. What happened, and who are these commandos? On April 8, 2017, Somali pirates used a small skiff to board the OS-35, a Tuvalu-flagged bulk carrier transporting timber through the Gulf of Aden. The crew of 19 Filipino sailors had no armed escort. The pirates moved fast, expecting no resistance and an easy ransom. What they didn't know was that the 25th Convoy Fleet to the People's Liberation Army Navy was already operating in the region. The moment the attack began, all 19 sailors retreated into the ship's citadel, where a distress signal reached the People's Liberation Army Navy frigate Yulin immediately. There was no deliberation, no ransom discussion. The frigate set course at once. Out in those dark open waters, a cargo ship set under pirate control. What none of those pirates could have known was that somewhere in that darkness, 16 of the most lethally trained special operations soldiers on the planet were already moving toward them. China doesn't negotiate. It responds. The Yulin arrived at midnight. An Indian Navy helicopter conducted aerial surveillance throughout the night, mapping threat positions in the darkness. In the broader geopolitical theater, India and China are bitter rivals locked in a struggle for maritime dominance. But out here, the pirate threat forced a rare, almost unheard-of moment of tactical cooperation. Still, though, the intelligence picture was incomplete. The internal layout of the OS-35 was unknown. The number of armed pirates still on board was unconfirmed. The crew had been locked inside the citadel for hours with no communication. At sunrise, the decision was made to move anyway. 16 commandos boarded the vessel under helicopter air cover, clearing a vessel with unconfirmed hostile positions, executing a controlled clearance operation. They advanced section by section, clearing each compartment before moving to the next. The pirates who had boarded, expecting a negotiation, met something else entirely. The crew members were found safe inside the citadel and immediately placed under Chinese Navy protection. 3 pirates were taken alive. They were later escorted to authorities in Puntland, Somalia. China's foreign ministry declared the operation a demonstration of the effectiveness of its naval forces against piracy. The unit that executed that operation is the Jiaolong Assault Team. They're also known as the Sea Dragons, the special operations force under the Chinese Marine Corps, built for airborne, maritime, underwater, and land infiltration operations. Their operational designation reflects their range. Sea Dragons, Land Tigers, Air Eagles, counter-terrorism elites. Their elimination rate during selection exceeds 50% before advanced training even begins. The physical benchmarks that emerge from that process are measurable and deliberately extreme. Training includes high-impact strength conditioning and physical endurance benchmarks that far exceed standard military requirements. Operators are required to meet advanced climbing and mobility standards as part of baseline qualification. These are not performance indicators. They're functional requirements for a force built to operate across multiple environments under varied mission conditions. At the Venezuelan Naval Special Operations School, selected Sea Dragons underwent Hell Week, 100 continuous hours with 0 food and 0 sleep. Trainees ran 6 kilometers carrying 20-kilogram loads, waded through 1 kilometer of open water, crossed rope net obstacles, then ran an additional 3 kilometers fully loaded. Prisoner abuse simulations followed, hands tied behind their backs, hoods over their heads, cigarette burns on their bodies, thorns pressed into the soles of their feet. Trainee Zi Yefeng lost 2.5 kilograms of body weight in a single night. Those who graduate don't just earn a position in the unit, they earn the right to become the standard. That standard translates directly into operational capability. They're classified as a Quadphibious force, capable of operating underwater, on land, in the air, and on the sea surface within a single mission. Their underwater insertion doctrine requires operators to enter a submarine's torpedo tube fully equipped with diving suits, weight belts, and diver propulsion vehicles. Inside the tube, visibility is 0. The clearance between the operator's body and the tube wall is 1 centimeter. One squad leader described it directly: "You can't see your hand in front of your face." On the surface, operators deploy from Z-8 helicopters through fast rope insertion and maritime precision parachuting, transitioning immediately into small rubber boats upon water entry. Each method is built around one objective: reach the target before it knows you're even coming. Those insertion capabilities feed directly into their boarding doctrine. In June 2022, the Sea Dragons conducted a full visit, board, search, and seizure exercise alongside the Snow Leopard Special Operations Unit, infiltrating a simulated hijacked vessel through underwater approaches before systematically seizing control of the ship and crew. Each operator is trained across over 100 weapon systems. Standard equipment includes underwater rifles, diver propulsion vehicles, night vision optics, infrared designators, and squad-level unmanned aerial vehicles for pre-assault reconnaissance. This isn't a unit built for one environment or one threat. It's built to operate wherever the mission demands. That operational reach reflects a much larger transformation. The People's Liberation Army Navy was once a coastal defense force. Today, they operate over 300 warships, surpassing the United States Navy by vessel count, commissioning between 14 and 18 new vessels every year. In November of 2025, China commissioned the Fujian, its first indigenously designed flat-deck carrier. Now, as we move through early 2026, the global implications of that launch are already playing out. Just months ago, 2 Chinese carrier groups operated simultaneously outside the first island chain for the first time. The People's Liberation Army Navy targets 9 aircraft carriers in active operation by 2035. Since 2008, China has dispatched 26 convoy groups to the Gulf of Aden, escorting over 6,000 vessels. Each deployment extends operational experience. Each operation normalizes global reach. The OS-35 rescue wasn't a gesture. It was a data point in a 16-year pattern of sustained naval projection. But the Sea Dragons aren't just there to save sailors. They're there as the tip of the spear for a much larger multi-trillion-dollar strategy. That pattern is inseparable from China's Belt and Road Initiative, a network spanning 71 countries, representing half the world's population and a quarter of global GDP. Protecting that network is a stated military objective. Anti-piracy operations in the Gulf of Aden are not humanitarian contributions. Rather, they're the enforcement of China's economic interests. The clearest expression of that strategy is the People's Liberation Army support base at Djibouti, China's first official overseas military base, built at a cost of $590 million. Positioned at the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, the choke point through which 40% of which China's imports pass annually, the base houses up to 2,000 personnel, a 400-meter runway, underground facilities spanning 23,000 square meters, and a pier capable of accommodating aircraft carriers and nuclear submarines. In August 2019, a company-sized Sea Dragons detachment deployed there, the first formation of that scale stationed at an overseas Chinese facility. China is not only building a navy to defend a coastline, but also to secure its global interests. China didn't send a negotiator to the Gulf of Aden. It sent the Sea Dragons. That decision reflects how Beijing now defines its global role. The Dragons aren't a peacekeeping force. They're the operational edge of a military machine that has spent 2 decades securing trade routes, expanding fleet capacity, and establishing presence at every critical choke point on the planet. China is no longer a regional power observing from its own shores. It's already operating beyond its regional waters. If you want to stay ahead of the curve on global flashpoints and modern naval warfare, hit the like button and make sure to subscribe to the channel, because what's coming is even bigger than this. We'll keep you updated on the front lines. Thanks for watching.